Just when I thought my life couldn't get any worse, it finds a way to. Almost exactly 1 year to the date of my last layoff, I get laid off again. Yes, from the job that is paying for my IVF. And
so the job losses are continuing. We talked about it yesterday. We got the shutdown. We got job losses. Just AI is laying off everybody. Is the economy as good as we think it is? Let's look at these videos. There's some really good ones, and let's read some of the comments. Let's go.
I'm going to be completely honest. It wasn't a total layoff. It was you have 5 weeks to put your house on the market and uproot your entire life and move to Phoenix, Arizona, or it is a layoff. 5 weeks, which poses as a problem because you guys know I'm in the middle of my IVF cycle. And they're paying for my IVF. So, I just cannot believe this is happening. And you don't get to give me crap for tearing up because I get to cry over this, okay? I get to cry. The job that has handcuffs on me because they're paying for my IVF is telling me the only way I have a job is if I uproot my entire life and move to Phoenix, Arizona in 5 weeks. And I'm building a home here. I'm going through IVF here. I'm building my life here. I have a home here. And this isn't even something that, I told them no. I'm not going to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm sorry. And they, wouldn't take no as an answer. They're sleep on it. I'm I can't go to Phoenix. And I was find me something in Texas, somewhere else in Texas. Find me something in Utah where I'm from. And they're we can't guarantee you relocation if you don't take this role. And I'm and it's not something I can sit on for a very long time because it's so much work to list your house, let alone pack up your entire life and move somewhere else by November. I have until the first week of November to move to a whole nother state, or I don't. And I take the severance package, which they didn't really give me information on what it was. I was send me a severance package. I'll sign that shit. Just kidding. And I lose my IVF coverage, and it's not the end of the world. I can afford to pay for the transfer out of pocket. The expensive part's done, The expensive part is really done. But nothing could have prepared me for that phone call today. And I mean nothing. I can't uproot my life in 5 weeks. I could if I really wanted to, but I really don't want to. I was so excited for this house, and to think in a blink of an eye, it's have to cancel that contract, have to list my current home for sale, hire movers, pack up everything, find a new place to live in Phoenix, find a new fertility clinic in Phoenix, pay to have my embryo shipped from Texas to no. Damn, God really wants to just switch up my whole life. I don't understand. I've lived
Shalom, a call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful lake scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. And real quick, I want to go into this live video, pretty much just, showing this video right here. It comes from, it doesn't say, it says, shocking 2025 layoff surge from federal chaos to tech bloodbath. All right. And you got people all over TikTok, all over the internet crying and losing their minds because they're losing their jobs. All right. And, truth be told, you shouldn't put too much stock in this place, man. You shouldn't put too much stock in a job. You shouldn't put too much, of your life, into Babylon. Because we've been telling you, starting with our head elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, that this place is finished. But people who are of this world and in this world and caught up in this world, they're losing their minds because they're seeing that this place is crashing. They're seeing that, the comfort, the security that a job has afforded them is, coming to an end. And let me grab this real quick. Okay, because this is why the scriptures, teach us. It says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And when you put your trust in this man and his system, you got all these people that went and signed up for them government jobs because they thought that was the best jobs you can have is a government job. They thought they were going to be secure. That was you putting your trust in this man and his system. Well, as you see, the Lord is crashing his system. And what does she say right here in the last bit of this video? And she a good-looking woman. Okay, she a good looking woman. You know, she'll make some pretty babies. But she said how she putting her eggs in a fertility clinic. She pretty much trying to freeze her eggs and stuff. Why? Because she's caught up in her career. All right, she's not focused on having kids right now. She's more so caught up in her career, and that's how a lot of these women are. But you're going to come to find out that your career is not going to help you. Your career cannot save you. The only thing that's going to help you and save you is doing the will of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And people are going to come to this understanding that, that there's only one way, okay, at the last minute. All right, now listen to what she said real quick. All right, let's play that last part back. She did a lot of rambling, but let's play that last part back.
New place to live in Phoenix, like, oh my, find a new fertility clinic in Phoenix, pay to have my embryos shipped from Texas to, no. Damn, like, God really wants to just switch up my whole life. I don't understand. Like, I've lived 9.
Now, she said, God really just wants to switch up my whole life. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's about to switch up you people's whole lives. You know, what you thought was, the way, your comfort, this life that you love to live, your careers and whatnot. The Lord ain't with none of that stuff, man. The Lord don't care about your career. And especially these women. These women are all caught up in their careers, man. All caught up in their jobs. Well, guess what? Your job is about to lay you off, and then you're going to have to go back and beg a man to take you in when you, can't even feed yourself, when you can't even protect yourself in the times we're coming into, man. It's about to get very, very uncomfortable, very, very ugly out here. And the only comfort that's going to come is from Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. So if you don't know Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI or have been serving Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, you are not going to have that comfort, okay? So yeah, you're right. The Lord is switching up, changing up everybody's whole lives, and you have no idea, how bad it's going to get. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Why? Because this man is still the devil. All right. He doesn't care about your job. He doesn't care about you needing this and needing that. All right. Truth be told, this is all orchestrated. This whole layoff thing, with the government shutting down, all this stuff is orchestrated, man. All right. They want people to be out of jobs. They want people to be, down and out, so they can push that MOTB on you, so they can, back you into a corner where you have to take the charagma, man. All right, it's all according to plan. And when you understand that, you're gonna move differently. You're gonna, you ain't gonna be online crying, because this is all the will of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. So yes, it's the Lord's will to switch you, to change people's lives up, because you ain't been serving or even acknowledging the true Creator. You ain't been taking heed to the prophets. We see women like this pass by the camp all day, every day, on Saturday and whatnot, man. And they don't even bat an eye. They don't even look in our direction, because you in your own little world. Well, now the Lord is shattering your own little world. Okay, the Lord is shattering that, man. All right, so we coming into a time where you're going to see these people get desperate. It's going to get bad. All right, these women are going to drop all these standards. They're going to be humbled. You see, because it was the liberty of this place that gave them, that pride and arrogance to, boast, themselves, and, you had to wear, you had a ridiculous amount, hundreds of thousands of so-called black women that lost their jobs when Trump got in office, man. Okay, but you were saying how you don't need a man. You don't need a man. And then now they come to find out that they need a man. It's going to get so bad. You might have, 4 or 5 women trying to, cling to one man, on this side, to help pay bills, so they can all live, and not be dying, trying to keep your head above water. And that's already kind of taking place now, where women are, starting to realize that they're going to need a man. All right. But it's going to get worse. All right. This thing is only going to escalate. It's only going to get worse. And before you know it, all hell is going to be breaking loose. People are going to be eating each other. Ain't going to be no jobs. The last thing I'm going to be worried about is a job. All right. There's going to be layoffs. Everybody's going to get laid off. All that's left is for this economy to collapse, and this place is going to go into a complete shithole. All right. People going to be stabbing each other up, and, over a can of peas. You're not going to be thinking about going to work. It ain't going to be no work. All right. Going reading on, it says, well, let me leave that right there. Now let's grab this real quick too. Because, we in that time, man, where the Lord is really about to do his thing. Let's see, work. What's that? Yeah, let's do this. We about to see it, man. But you know, the crazy part is we've been telling you this was coming way before it came. So there's no excuse. All right, there is no excuse, man. People gonna start crashing out and getting violent because they don't know where their next meal is coming from. You know, their mortgage payments. People buying these houses, bro. You got to be a damn fool to be buying a house, bro. You can buy a house, be paying a mortgage, and the whole time the bank can still take your house. Okay, it doesn't matter, you know, because it's all a facade here. All right. So your mortgage payments, you can't pay your mortgage payments. Now they take your house. You don't put 200,000 into this house, you know, and that's where, you know, people are going to lose their minds. I saw a post last night, you know, on Newsbreak about Trump, you know, pretty much bragging about more jobs are going to be taken. Okay, this is all according to plan. This is going to be that great reset. This is why they're talking about a universal basic income. They're going to put you, you know, in subjection to this beast system and tell you we'll give you crumbs and you sit back and shut up. Okay, you will what that guy Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing and be happy. Now, and how do people be happy owning nothing? Because they want to put a chip inside you where they can control your emotions. They can control your thoughts. So you're not going to be really happy, but they're going to make you happy. Okay. Another thing I realized too, I've been meditating on, I almost went live on my way home because when I drive home, I drive down this major street and all you see is dispensaries going up. Dispensaries going up. It's every other day. It's a new dispensary going up, a new weed shop where they're selling this, you know, this chemical laced marijuana and stuff, pretty much keeping people drugged up. That's another thing, man. Everybody's high as hell on drugs, trying to cope, you know, from the pain, you know, trying to cope from the, you know, their depressions and whatnot. So that's another thing. Everywhere you look now is these dispensaries popping up. All right, and people are going in there, and you know they're getting these medical things, these medical licenses or whatever, and all they doing is smoking all day and just high out of their mind and trying to escape reality. Okay, but reality is going to set in. All right, there is no escaping this reality that's coming. Let's play some more of this.
Lives in my 20s. I just, like, what do you even do in this situation? What do you even do? Because it's, and the insurance, and like this job has the best parental leave, like the best parental leave. I was so excited about that, but I can't just uproot my life.
I got laid off from my corporate job. My first corporate.
People, they pretty much put their, you know, their lives on the back burner for these jobs. You know, she was looking at this job thinking about parental leave, but you know, hey, now you ain't gonna have a job. So if you wanted to have children, you should have, you know, did that. You know, done what you was, you know, created to do, taken care of a house, had a man, but no, you was chasing a career. And you see that these careers and these jobs are not, you know, they ain't gonna help you. They can't save you. Esau can't help you. He can't save himself. It's like a sinking ship. You know, the captain going down with it. Okay? The best thing you can do is get the fuck off the ship. All right? Let's go right here. It says, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, brush or rush may do. Right? Ain't gonna be no more work out here. Okay? And that's all around. Eventually, we're all going to lose our jobs. That's the harsh reality. And this is why we're going to be trusting upon YAHAWASHI, man. Okay, because we're going to all lose our jobs. There is going to be no jobs here, man, in America, bro. So you can't say that you wasn't warned. You can't say that you didn't know. Brother's been screaming, you know, on top of the rooftops, telling you that this place is going to shut down. It's going to shut down. But you still got our people still trusting in this place. Still, you know, expecting this place to, you know, to go on. All right, and you will be greatly mistaken. All right, let's go into NLT. Let's go up in the NLT. It says, verse 14, the Lord has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit, and the Lord is sending out a spirit upon this place, man. He's putting a foolish spirit upon this place where, you know, they're making all the wrong decisions. You know, your so-called government, you know? And people thinking that it's, oh, why they doing this? Why they doing that? Well, really, it's because it's the Lord's will for this place to go down. Scripture says we would have healed Egypt, which America is modern day Egypt. We would have healed Egypt, okay? But it can't be healed. America's through. So to still be holding on to this place, looking for a career and trying to, you know, save yourselves, that's foolish, okay? That's foolish. And this is why we've turned to the word of YAHAWASHI for comfort, you know? Not a career, not no money, not no drugs. We turn to YAHAWASHI for comfort. That's the best thing you can do in these times because everything else is going to fail. What are you going to do when the money runs out? What are you going to do when the drugs run out? What are you going to do when there's no more careers? What are you going to do, you know, when the lights cut off? All right? There is nothing Egypt can do. Ain't going to be nothing you can do here, bro. This place is going to be through. It's already through. And that's all the will of YAHAWASHI. That's all at the behest of YAHAWASHI. And you can't say you didn't know because the prophet's been telling you. But you ain't been paying attention. People ain't been paying attention. They don't take these words seriously. You know? Like I said, people pass by the camp and don't even look in our direction. People pass by these videos and don't even watch them, don't even consider. And that's cool. All we're doing is our job. We going to continue to tell you what's coming. And you can not listen. You can play stupid. You can play dumb until it hit you in the face. But our job is done. The blood is off of our hands. We did our job. And that's all that matters, man. Most of these people out here, it ain't no helping them. You know? Going back, it says, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 15, there is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless. The head and the tail, the noble palm branch, and the lowly reed. So everybody going to be helpless, man. From the bum on the street to the CEOs of these major companies, bro. You're going to see everybody on a low level. And that's what they're doing. They're making, you know, only two classes. The very, very high upper class rich and the very, very poor. There is not going to be no more middle class. So if you're not super wealthy rich, guess where you're going to be at? At the bottom with the rest of us. You know, what's crazy is that through the Spirit, the Lord already got us at the bottom. You know, we used to it. Okay? Like Bane said, I was molded in the darkness. Okay, we was molded and formed in darkness, man. Okay? They buried us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. But our hope and our trust is not in YAHAWASHI like a plant. We're stretching towards the sun, which is YAHAWASHI. We're not looking for Esau to come and, no, none of that. It's pointless. And if you haven't figured that out by now, it's because the Lord is not dealing with you. Okay, he's going to leave you out here, and a lot of you are just going to have to melt. Okay, and this is why a lot of people are going to take the MOTB, because they're going to be trying to get back to their lives. You see that nice fancy car she in, that she probably got to make payments on and all this other crazy shit? Guess what? You ain't going to be able to make them payments no more. You ain't going to be able to pay your mortgage, your car payments, you know, to buy your fancy clothes and jewelry and makeup and shit. All that's coming to an end. The Lord is about to strip you people, man. And you don't see it. In that day, the Egyptians will be as weak as women. You know, you Babylonians, you Americans. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of the Lord of the Lord YAHAWASHI of heaven's armies. And that's this right here is the punishment of YAHAWASHI coming down. People think it's Trump. They think it's the Republicans. They think it's a Democrat. Listen, it's YAHAWASHI. Okay, it's the Lord doing this, man. All right, and you cannot fight against the Most High. Let's grab this right here too. All right. Let's see, smoked. Because this is what we came to understand, being in this truth. Okay, that hey, it's over. It's over. I understood a long time ago this place was over. Okay, before everybody else is starting to see it. It says Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day. These days we coming into. Okay, these times we coming into. In that day, that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. I mean, you're not going to be trusting in your oppressor. You're not going to be looking to this system that enslaved us to nourish us anymore. Okay, Esau's about to shut this place down. He's about to take away all your benefits. Okay, all your jobs. all your opportunities. Okay? And it's on purpose. It says, but shall stay upon the Lord YAHAWASHI Yahawashi, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. You see? We're going to be stayed upon YAHAWASHI Yahawashi, man. Not America, not the, a political party. Okay? People switching parties every other year. They switching parties. I mean, every other election they switching parties and stuff. Come on, bro. Y'all don't get it yet? Let's go into some of these words before I grab it in the NLT. Let me grab it in the NLT first. In the NLT, it says, in that day, the remnant left in Israel, because the Lord only dealing with a remnant. Majority of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians here in America are going to die. And this is why Trump is gathering the troops. He just sent more troops, you know, from what, the Texas troops in Chicago or whatever. You know, he's putting these troops in place. And a lot of people are about to die. All right. It says, in that day, the remnant in Israel, in that day, the remnant left in Israel, the survivors of the house of Jacob, the ones who didn't die in the famines, the ones who ain't dying in the clashes, with the civil wars that's coming. Because people are going to start bucking up against this government. They're going to start protesting it, and Trump is going to go out there and start mowing people down. Which, another thing I want to mention, which I can go into it soon, I saw Trump's son post this about how allegedly America is now a sovereign state or whatever, a sovereign country. I got to go more into it, but basically, I believe they're doing that too. They're separating from these other countries, which is going to cause these other countries to turn against them as well. But they're separating from these other countries so they can do whatever they want to do here, man. There's no hold bars, okay? You don't have to worry about human rights when, you're your own sovereign, you're your own sovereign land. Because if not, they're going to have to answer to the UN and stuff, and they ain't dealing with that. So America is pretty much isolating itself, and it's making enemies with everybody around them, and then even got enemies inside. This is why Trump just met up with them generals and said the war is within. Wait a minute, but y'all going to war all over the world. Now the war is within as well? So it's only a matter of time. The clock is ticking. This place is through. And if you still out here crying about a job, you have no idea it's about to get much, much worse. Like I said, these people are going to take the MOTB. They're going to seek to try to get them their lives back, And this is why me personally, I don't invest too much in this place, okay? I could have started a business. I could have did this and did that and third, but then you get too invested in this place. I could have, or even with the whole credit thing, where you got people got these cars and they trying to pay these cars. Listen, bro, they finna take everything. Do not get too invested in this place, man. Okay, because at the end of the day, when push come to shove, this place is going down the hill. This place is going down. All right, and if you too caught up in this place, you going down with it. The fashion of this world shall pass away. So life as we know it is changing. That's what she said. God is changing my life in my 20s. Yeah, not just you, but all you women out here that's proud and thought that you ain't need a man because you got a job. These women, they out here with no man, just running around doing whatever they want to do. That's coming to an end, okay? That's coming to an end. You were created to serve a man, but now you've been serving yourself. You've been serving these false gods. The Lord is about to put this place right back in order. It says, the survivors, because everybody else going to die, the survivors in the house of Jacob will no longer depend on allies who seek to destroy them. What you still calling them? Like there's a video of a Jake woman. She was in this food stamp office crying because a food stamp card didn't hit, which that's another thing. With the government shutdown, your food stamps ain't coming, okay? They're cutting all them government benefits, man. So she in there upset, talking about she got 9 kids to feed, and it was no man in sight in there with her. But whatever, she got 9 kids to feed, and now she need her government assistance. You got Eve talking about the government, her baby daddy. Well, guess what? Now your baby daddy about to make you a single mother, okay? Which when you think about that whole deadbeat thing and the whole baby daddy thing, Esau was the original baby daddies and deadbeats, man. He would go on the plantation and pop the slave women and leave, the babies, which was his children, which was Edomite babies, tares. He would leave them in the field, enslaving his own people because he's a base man. He doesn't understand, But that was the original, baby daddy, deadbeat. Okay, so you think that this man is going to continue to nourish you? He's going to go into his bunkers. He's going to let y'all fight it out here for the last scraps of food. before the nukes ultimately rain on your ass anyways. We see it as clear as day. Everybody else confused. They don't know what's going on. We see it as clear as day. And I'm rooting. I'm rooting. Every time I see these videos, I'm rooting. Call all y'all BAHASHAM. Let's go. Scripture says pray for a few days, man. That's the spirit supposed to be. You ain't supposed to be praying for a better fucking job. Pray for a few days. Pray the Lord destroy this motherfucker. Because that's the best thing for us. As I did, you know, I titled our camp video, as this place go down, we go up. To hell with America, bro. As this place go down, we go up. Because what we put all our stock in YAHAWASHI. And that's the power that's doing it. All right, let's bring this back. This is heavy, bro. It says, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20 in the NLT. In that day, the remnant left in Israel, the survivors, because Esau is about to mow 2/3 of our people down. We see it already playing out. It's already been, you know, established on the earth. He getting all his ducks in a row, all his troops in place, and they're going to start unleashing. It says, will no longer depend on allies who seek to destroy them, but they will faithfully trust the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. Right? We're going to put our faith in YAHAWASHI. What we look like, you know, trying to petition a Trump to feed us. Hey, if you give the government, you know, the power to feed you, you give the government power to starve you. If you give the government power to house you, you give the government power to make you homeless. Okay. Now we all, you know, is stuck in this system, but hey, your main focus and your main cry and your calling should be to YAHAWASHI. All right. Don't ever, you know, think that this man got power. The Lord, he only got the power the Lord gave him. This is why we go to the source. Okay. We go to the source. It says a remnant will return. Yes, the remnant of Jacob will return to the mighty power YAHAWASHI. So a remnant, okay? The Lord is only concerned